Hi, I'm Mark Gagne.
And I'm Chris Corcoran, and you're listening to Tech Sales is for Hustlers. Tech Sales for Hustlers is a podcast where we catch up with Memory Blue alums and reminisce about their start in high-tech sales with us.
Let's go get some, Corcoran.
Gagne, you know I'm ready.
Christopher, Aurelien Mottier is in the house today.
Ray.
Hey, Ray. What's going on, Ray?
Good, man. Very good. Good to be here. Good to be with you. It's great to have you.
Stateside.
Yes. Stateside. Snowy stateside. It's very cold. It's going to be milder. I like it. I like it, yeah.
You love when the French come visit us.
Yes.
Right?
Wow. Unless we're trying to conquer something.
Yes.
We stopped at a long time, but we're not really good at fighting. So this story would suggest that we should stop it.
It's appropriate. We're in D.C. You guys are big fans of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Helping us out. So let's get going. Okay. Ray, so here's what we want to do.
Go on.
We want to learn a little bit more about Ray.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, the history. So we're going to talk a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah. Okay.
What it was like growing up. What kind of kid were you? What you do? And then we're going to kind of work our way to the modern day Ray. And we'll jump along the way, stop.
And you want
pause.
the truth?
We want the whole truth.
Oh,
nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Sunset Direct. Yeah, so we're going to go over all those things. So, and nowadays this is going to be a challenge. If you think you're talking too much, we'll pause you or we'll move you along. So don't worry about that. Like, there's no real time limit on this as far as I'm concerned. So, all right. Sound good, Chris?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So tell us, where are you from, Ray?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about growing up.
Cool. I was born in Le Mans, in France. We're known for two things. We're known for the 24 hours, the car race, Le Mans, and rillettes, which is kind of the pâté that you can only make in Le Mans.
The what?
The pâté.
What's that?
It's like something you put on bread.
Okay.
Something you put on your bread. It's delicious. You can have it sandwich. You can have it as a canapé. You can have it as an amuse bush.
Okay.
It's a very multi-purpose pâté.
Why is that so popular from where you're from?
It's just what we make. It's like champagne is coming from France. Rillettes are coming from Le Mans.
Okay.
The fun story in my cuisine is a butcher, and he's the gold medal of rillettes in Le Mans. So we make the best. Basically, it's got the best in the universe because nobody can make it outside of Le Mans.
What part of France are we talking about?
We're talking, so if you've got Paris in front of you, you are an hour west on the train, an hour and a half car away from Paris in the west.
So, that's close, right?
Between Paris and Brittany, basically.
Okay. And what was it like growing up there?
Boring, but good. I think everybody was bored, all the kids were bored. Not a lot to do, quite a small town. I was mainly spending my days on my bike. As a tennis racket or a football, playing around, playing sports. Back in the days, from the age of 5, parents would let you go in the street.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can do that now anymore with the kids. I was spending my time on my bike. Rest at school, I was relatively good. But I got expelled twice before the age of 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a bit excited. What
siblings?
One sister, 7 years older than me.
Okay.
Her name is Bettina.
Okay.
German name.
Okay.
7 years older than me, so we never really understood each other up until the point where I actually grew up and as adolescents, and I actually realized that she was a normal human being.
Yeah, many people can relate to that.
Yeah, we had a tough relationship. We liked each other, but she was much older than me, so we never really connected on anything. But yeah, I got expelled twice from school.
What for?
I need to watch what I'm saying, but
yes.
Just for being difficult.
Yeah.
It feels good to speak to you about that, guys. I feel liberated now. Now you understand. That makes sense. I'm going to tell you about the concept of the school I joined, where I actually changed my mindset. So I think I was really agitated as a kid, probably a little bit hyperactive. I think I was relatively quick at learning new concepts at school as well, and I was getting bored. But nobody really understood that. Everybody saw me as a troublemaker, and I was a bit of a clown as well. So I was a troublemaker, but my passion was to make people laugh, right? So a bit of a comedian. So first school, they just said, look, we don't want you to come back next year. Then second school were like, yeah, it's too difficult as well. We can't handle him. So my parents actually had to put me in a private school. Yeah. And private school in France is Catholic. I ended up in a Catholic school.
Mm-hmm. What grade or what age were you at?
I was 8.
Okay, wow.
And, one of the schools super strict. Literally back then, you would take they would slap you.
Yeah.
They would take the ruler and get you on the ruler.
Corporal punishment.
Yeah. Like proper, like you don't,
Yep.
It's different.
I know.
Things, different level. And all the parents are supportive of that. You come back home, say, "I'm being slapped," say, "Yes." I think you get another one.
Yeah.
So, one of the schools where you've got this no uniform, but we had to wear like a lab guys, like those white shirts over what we were wearing. So we very strict, very religious, but the teacher were fantastic. Like literally, teacher had to be paid very well. And I remember that teacher is one of my best story about managing through empowerment.
Okay.
Thursday in the classroom, I'm thinking in my head, right, I need to be the tough guy here. I'm the new guy. All those kids know each other for a long time. I'm the new guy.
Yep.
And the teacher goes around everybody. So she says, "Hey, this is Chris. What you need to know about Chris? He's always got a very nice shirt. He's always got this. He's always got that. Hey, this is Mark. What you need to know about Mark? He used to be a great football player, but he's got most of his knees now.
Right.
But he used to be great at soccer."
Yeah.
And she came to me and said, "Well, this is Ray. Aurelien is new. What you need to know about him is that he's quite smart and he gets things a little bit quicker than some of the other students. So if you are all okay with that, and if he's okay with it, I would like him to be my teacher assistant."
Oh, wow.
What a great teacher. Are you serious?
And she
What a
completely,
professional.
but she actually, when someone pulled the rug from your feet, I got a little bit emotional and I was like, "What's going on?" And the tough guy was like, "Oh, she actually got me completely unexpected, but also said something nice to me, right? Because I felt good about what she was saying. But very smart lady, she pulled my desk next to her desk.
She knew she did her scouting.
And when the dawn went, and everybody went out the classroom, she actually called me and said, "Look, I know exactly what your deal is. I'm going to help you. I know you're a bit of a joker. You can joke, but never joke behind my back. Nothing behind my back. You involve me in everything. No disrespect, no bullying, and we're good." So that was that. And she completely changed my perception of things. I became a bit of a teacher pet after that. Really liked her and started to be better academically, which kind of led to my parents thinking, well, I'm coming from a very humble family, right? My
Let's talk
dad
about
was,
that. Tell us about that.
okay, so my dad was he was up until recently a warehouse worker, working in a cigarette factory, very French. His dad worked in a cigarette factory as well, and his dream was for me to work in a cigarette factory, right? So it's a big factory where you make cigarettes. Actually worked there from the age of 14. I was working there, or 16, sorry. I was working then in the summer and was interesting. Lots of good character in that factory. And my mom didn't work. She was just cleaning houses, looking after kids, people in the street, like doing small stuff, helping, getting a little bit of cash on the side, but not working. So for them, it was actually tough to put me to that private school, right? Because you have to pay. But when they realized that my grades started to go and I was good, basically they say, "You've got two choices now. You either become a doctor or you become an engineer." Because they saw that's what smart people do, right?
Yeah.
I don't really like blood. I get a little bit fainty. I don't like things that are just, I've got my own problems. So it's just look, it's going to be engineer. So that's what I study. So I'm fast tracking a lot now.
Let's go back a little bit. You said your first lesson in empowerment.
Yeah.
What was the teacher's name?
Madame Lamar.
Okay. Then tell us, what do you mean by empowerment? Because I think I know what you mean, but how did that empower you? And sounds like you talk about that in business too sometimes. Or?
I think I was craving responsibilities, and sometimes I think I was really good at pointing out problems, and she actually gave me a platform to solve problem. She gave me a platform, so you're going to be heard and we're going to do something about it. So I think managing strong empowerment is still something that I'm doing a lot with people around me. Yep. When people come with an issue, say, "Well, why don't you look at it? You put a little business case and you come back to me when you've got solutions." It's all good to come with a problem, but just think about the solution and we discuss together. Or I'm going to give you the responsibility that you're right. We've got an issue there in the business. I'm going to give you the responsibility to fix it. I think it's a good way to deal with it.
Definitely.
And it's good for the people as well. And it's that sort of unexpected stuff that is refreshing. I think people react well to responsibilities. And the good one.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great lesson learned at age 8. And is that age 8? It's probably like 4th grade, 3rd grade here. This is July. You're wrong. I don't have a good story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fast tracking and become an engineer.
But hold on.
Now you want to go back?
Yeah. So when you're growing up, the teenager, what were you doing? You're not in school. Like people, what are you doing in France when you're like a teenager? Are you playing sports? Are you working? You're working in the summertime? Is it all school all the time? Like what's going on?
Oh, it was young teenage year. Was very much on the bike again, going around with my friend, playing tennis. I remember playing lots of tennis, playing lots of football, table tennis. Doing all sorts of lots of mountain biking.
Okay.
Should I get on the bike?
You do that now.
I love mountain biking, yeah. It's like all sorts of things like jumping things, doing wheelies and things like that.
It was so cool.
Yeah, trying to be cool. Trying to impress the girls, really.
Yeah,
this is my bike.
Right, okay.
Imagine that with a push bike trying to impress girls. You've got to have tricks. You have to have tricks. All right. So did that. Then as I grew up a little bit older, obviously I discovered the pleasure of life, just a bit of going out and, drinking and things like that. So then starting to go clubbing and things of that nature.
Okay. So when your parents say, okay, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an engineer, like how does that work in France in terms of like higher education? Like,
so you kind of pick what you want to do after what we call the lycée. So when you are around 16, 17, then you go to university. If you want to become a doctor, you need to go to doctor school. It's quite lethal. Doctor school, you've got to 7 years. I've got lots of friends who have done it, who are surgeons now, doctors or whatever. But the first few years, you go through a lot of testing. Like they really, you've got tests, you've got lots of theory to learn. But I was not really interested in becoming a doctor, working in an hospital. I've never really been a big fan of any of that. So engineering for me was easier. I was really good at math, really good at physics. So I decided to take that route. And I went to university in Angers, which is probably another hour west.
How do you spell it?
Angers.
Okay.
I did a DUT Génie électrique and informatique industrielle. So basically, I ended up, my specialty is that I ended up programming automatons, on the chain of productions, when you've got those machines doing things and replacing humans and painting things or screwing something, etc., etc. And I went to work as an engineer for 6 months.
This is out of school?
Out of school.
How long were you in university or to get an engineer?
3 years.
3 years. So how old are you when you graduate?
Yeah, I graduated.
How old are you?
21.
So same. Okay, so you're 21 and then you get an engineering job straight away.
Yeah. And I went to
France.
In France, yeah.
Okay.
It was a funny place. I need to tell you about that place. So in France, we've got the chicken of Louis, right? It's a brand. Everybody knows the chicken of Louis. They are free range. But free range in the French way, like literally there is chicken everywhere in that country. I'm not kidding. As soon as you see the sign, because you are in Louis, you come with your car, you see got chicken, there is the sign saying mind the chicken.
Yeah.
There's chicken everywhere. Like in the street, everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's free range.
Free range chicken.
And people just recognize them because they put like little things on them. They just, I don't know, they organize themselves. It's absolutely chaotic. So I was in that place called Louis. I worked there for 6 months, absolutely hated every single minute of it.
When you were...
And why was that? Because of the location or because of the work or both?
No, I love the chicken, man. It's not the location. No, it's just, I think engineering is very lonely.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of contact with human. I was programming a machine. I was the whole day, I was pretty much on my own. I would have maybe an hour with my team, but the rest of the time, there's no human interaction. You're just putting codes, 1 and zeros together, you're testing things, you make sure that you don't break anything. But I don't know, I don't find it very purposeful. And I was really lacking human interaction. I was feeling bored.
6 months in, you were like, okay.
I quit.
You quit 6 months in.
I quit.
Did you have a plan?
No, I just quit. One day it was just too much. I was like, no, I'm not getting back. So I quit.
What'd your parents say?
Oh, my mom was not happy. She was like, yeah, it's finished. We don't do any more for you. We paid for this, we paid for that. But they supported me. So I was working during most of the school holidays. So summer holidays, 2 weeks there. I was working in a cigarette factory.
Yeah.
So I was making a bit of money, but my parents really wanted to make a point of supporting me. Yeah. So when I moved to Angers to study as an engineer, they actually paid for a small flat. I was actually living in someone's house, in a room, in old lady's house. Terrible room. So literally, it was a bathroom with one sink, a shower, and a cooker in the bathroom.
So this is when you're undergrad?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no dormitories?
No. Well, there is, but I think it was a cheap option to be like.
Okay. It was expensive to live in an old lady's house.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. But they supported me to do that. So I think my mom was really disappointed because it was kind of her dream. I think she loved going around and saying to her friend that there was an
Of
injury.
course she did.
Yeah, right.
That's what moms want to do.
I think I just broke that. Literally, I shattered that.
She's like, hey, I was raised in engineering. I'll stop doing it.
And I think what she was the most upset about is, as you said, no plan.
Yeah.
She said, what are you going to do now? I said, I don't know. So I went back to work in the cigarette factory. And then I saw some of my friends who were doing business at school. I don't know, they seemed to have fun. I always liked business. I was quite entrepreneurial also. When I was a kid, I used to sell flowers. So French. I was selling flowers in front of my bakery. There's a bakery of my road.
What is bicycles?
I was selling
What is bicycle?
Lilies of the valley on the 1st of May, or other flowers. Or I would pick up strawberries and sell them, for petty money, right? And yeah, I grew up always doing like little job for people, like cleaning stuff, painting stuff, and doing that sort of things. So I always liked the idea of making my own money. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try that, and I joined.
Where did that come from? Like, you like the idea of making your own money? But when do you first remember that?
I remember that definitely not from my upbringing and my parents. I think their values were very different from business values. But one of my best friends that I met when I was 12, unfortunately, he passed away when he was 30, so 10 years ago now. His dad was a very successful business guy. And I was spending my days from the age of 12 to the age of 15. You know, in France, you don't have school on Wednesday afternoon, and then you have school on Saturday morning.
Okay.
So I was spending my Wednesday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, Sunday with that guy who is on our bike doing things I mentioned. Yeah. Or we're inside, and I spent so many times, sleeping over and things. And I always remember his dad coming back. His dad was the manager of like a furniture type of chain shops, but for all the west of France. So he had lots of shops. He was traveling a little bit. I always remember him coming back in the evening, 8:30 p.m., coming back, opening a glass of wine, opening a bottle of wine, have a glass of wine, and just telling us about his days, what he's done, or speaking with his wife about what was going on. And I remember it being captivating. And he was telling us, and then he was trying to turn that into life stories. So I think as a side, it just made me realize that, actually, you can make business, and he was really entrepreneur. So you say, we need to try that, guys. Why don't you try that? He was pushing us to do stuff. He said, well, what are you going to do to make money? Have you thought about that? Asking questions about your future that, I don't think I had at home. It wasn't the education of my parents. So I think that was probably the breakthrough. And my friend Pierre-Antoine was a very entrepreneurial. So I think that's why I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you looking to join an industry with unlimited professional opportunity? It has never been a better time than right now to start a lucrative career in high-tech sales. Memory Blue has launched hundreds of careers for accomplished high-tech sales professionals from our offices coast to coast, and right now, we're in hiring mode. Working with us will accelerate your professional growth and place you on a path to success early in your sales career. You'll get world-class training through the Memory Blue Academy program and sharpen those skills with ongoing mentorship and coaching from our seasoned sales leaders. Memory Blue is in expansion mode, and we have immediate openings in all of our offices. We have been named one of the fastest growing private companies in the U.S. by Inc. magazine for 8 straight years. Our award-winning culture has been recognized by third-party industry groups as the best in the business, as we routinely add unbelievable benefits and rewards for our team. To learn more and apply to any of our openings, visit memoryblue.com/careers today.
You walk away from engineering, you're working at the cigarette factory, and then what happened from there?
So from there, I'm thinking I need to do something next year. I can't be in the cigarette factory. I mean, I've tried back home. Yeah. Okay, so kind of it's kind of really like the Cold War between me and my parents at the time, but I still don't know what I want to do. But I decided to work, and I worked literally for 4 or 5 months, and it was well paid. It was one of those jobs that was actually well paid back in the day, so I managed to put a lot of money aside when I'm my parents.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about what I want to do next. So I'm looking at lots of different things. And I founded business school in Angers.
Where?
In Angers, same place.
Oh, same place. Okay.
Yeah. So I founded business school, which was, it's kind of a school for professionals. So you've got mix of students, so people who are graduate that go there to have a bachelor, to do a bachelor, or you've got people who are professional who go there to develop their skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a mixed.
Yep.
It's not a really part of a university type of thing. It's a private school that does professional and student that wants to develop in business. So I decided to join them, and I loved it. I think it was great. It's really, from the first, I remember, my first 30 minutes where we meet with the president of the school who speaks about leadership, and he speaks about the quality of leaderships. I just remember thinking, wow, this is what I want to be. And I was invested, man. I was the president of the student union. I was the president of the sports union. I was spending my life in the school. I was dedicated to make that place a better place.
Yeah.
And that was great.
How long of a commitment was that?
So I spent 2 years there.
Okay.
And I spent my last year
Studying business.
Well, studying, my course was managing medium-sized companies.
Okay.
So it was sales, marketing, finance, HR,
Okay.
law, or everything about business law.
So you
Tax.
get a master's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like it was really everything about business.
Okay.
So basically, the school to become a director general or CEO.
Yep, man.
Okay. So really like that. My last year, you do what we call alternate in France. So particularly in the school, we are professionals. So you spend 2 weeks in a business, working, and 2 weeks back at school. And you move 3 weeks, 1 week. You do less and less school, and then you stop school. And I was working at Philips in Paris.
Okay.
Philips, the infotainment.
Yeah.
So back then I was working in the marketing team, and we were making MP3 players. That was before the iPod.
Yeah.
The MP3 player, that's the USB key.
Yep.
Like
Philips made those?
128 megabytes, 10 songs. And so we were making that, and we were making mobile phone. And I missed the opportunity to travel the world because I basically, academically, I was really strong on everything, math, French. But one thing that I never cared about was English. Literally, my grade in English was close to zero. I was really good in Spanish, really good in other stuff, but English, I never really worked my English. And I could not put 2 hours of English together, despite the fact at this point, I did study English for at least 12, 13 years.
I was going to ask you that. Oh, wow.
I was just not there.
Was you didn't put any focus on it?
I didn't see the point of it.
Yeah.
I didn't really see the point of it. I just saw it was, I don't know, very small mind. But then I got into that business, and I'm like, God, I was supposed to go to Sao Paulo. I was supposed to go to St. Petersburg. I was supposed to go to Brazil.
When you were at Philips?
Yeah, they said you need to do like customer drinks, and basically you go and you meet people from different regions, and you
Why didn't you go there? Was you English?
I couldn't speak English, so I couldn't go. So I could see all my colleagues going. I went to one which was in Netherlands. So Philips, Dutch company.
Yep.
The whole week I could not communicate with people unless they were French.
Okay.
I really felt small. But then the person who was my boss. She was the VP marketing for Philips for the mobile infotainment unit.
She's French.
French.
Yep.
She said, all right, we need to go to Cambridge, go to the UK. They had an affiliation, Philips, with Cambridge in the UK. So I went to Cambridge.
So the pause real fast. So what were your parents thinking during all this? Were they happy that you were? Are they still a little bit? Man, you should have been.
No, they probably think I'm a little brat. I'm just trying to find my way.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know what I'm doing with myself.
Yeah.
Right.
So you knew you were doing something you kind of liked.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
But maybe would they ignore?
I think my parents, even to this day, if I explain what we're doing here, they're like, "All right, cool. Well." So and they just change the topic.
No, that's pretty common. Yeah.
For them, marketing is bullshit. When I told them I'm marketing, it's just, well, what do you do?
Yeah. Right.
For my dad, if you're not using your muscles, if you're not active doing something, you do nothing.
Yeah.
So you are sitting in an office in front of a computer.
Yeah.
That's what you do. All right.
Yeah.
and you call yourself a man. Right? So I don't think there is no point in trying to explain what I was doing. Yes, it's just like a lost battle. So it was kind of cold relationship. And even now, I mean, they were with me at Christmas. I mean, a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
I've got my parents who are mid-70s. They still ask me what the business is doing.
Yeah.
So what happened last year? The things Memory Blue, we saw the post and stuff. So what actually have you done? And for the funny story, I was speaking to my mum about it. My dad was just there. My dad's got a bit of a garden now. He's retired.
Yeah.
And I was speaking, I said, yeah, well, we got acquired by a company and it's good and blah, blah, blah. So I go full steam. I'm like, they're listening.
Yeah.
My dad was on his phone. And literally, he just cuffed me and said, oh, look, we got 200 kilos of tomatoes this year. It's actually joking. It broke my heart. There's nothing I can do. It is what it is. You can't change people, And in a way, I kind of like it. It's humbling for me to be coming from that background. Absolutely. But this relationship, I'm really glad for the people that I've met in a weird way outside of my family, because I think the values that I've got from my parents, I'm using them, sure, but these are the core value. Like, the respect, the honesty, the most being frank, being really upfront. My parents are French and quite large, so and they're still married. Right. So, I've seen lots of conflicts. They never went to the point, so I've seen them arguing, and I've been arguing with them, so not really adverse to conflict. So they've been teaching me quite a few things. Like, they toughen me up. But then all the soft skills, just don't really get it.
Yeah. So you're back. Thank you for that side of Avenue and took us on. So you're Cambridge.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Were you going to school or did they?
Yeah. So I went to Cambridge for 1 year.
Well educated.
Yeah.
What were you studying?
Yeah, but not the real course. Like, I didn't do smart stuff. I almost went as a passenger there. I was there. I was allowed to go to lecture and stuff like that. Pick some lectures, and it was really challenging. I mean, but I loved it. Like, there's a few things about moving to the UK, but going to a country, and I was a funny guy, sharp and quick when I speak to people, and that was one of my things. Communication, like bam, 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 bam. People would, I think, either like me or hate me instantly, because but I was very quick at speaking. I was always like a joke, always like to push a little bit people, play with words, play with things, be a bit funny. And that, you take that away from me. Yeah. You take my power away. You take my weapons away. I'm like, fuck. And so I got there, and literally the first few days. So I need to tell you about the etymology of Ray.
Yes.
For Ray, yes.
Yes.
That's another moment I will always remember for that day. So I go to a temporary job. So I had to pay for my Philips is not paying for anything. They just sent me there.
So you're in Cambridge.
I'm in Cambridge.
What are they paying for? Now they just got you into the programs?
Nothing. They just tell me these are the programs.
Okay.
Pick one, go and learn English, spend a year, come back when you're fluent, and then we see what we're going to do with you.
So you were not working for them?
No.
So you were kind of on your independent?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay, go.
So technically, after my alternance at school, when I was doing school and work, after that, a break. So normally you would work for them full time.
I see.
But I said, no, that's my opportunity to learn English. So I spoke to my VP marketing and she said, you've got to bloody do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be good for you. You've got to travel.
Yes.
You need to learn English.
What's her name?
It's a good question.
You remember? We'll come back to it. Keep going.
I need to find her name.
Just should have give her a shout out.
Yeah.
But
so went there and I needed to find a job, right? Because running out of money and I had to do something, but I couldn't speak in English. So what sort of job would I do? So I tried to go and put application in bars and stuff like that. Nobody pick up the phone, nobody respond to me. So I decided to go to a temporary place, like a manpower addict. And I remember sitting there, there was a lady.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
23, okay, guys.
23, 24.
Okay.
Moving on 24 maybe.
Yep.
And I remember that lady, like very large, British, but a bit cockney lady, just goes around, but she's got something about her. She wears glasses at the bottom, she looks at people, and then she smiles. She looks
sizing you up.
Yeah, but she looks dangerous, but kind.
Yeah.
Like her face just changed. And the way she speaks, she's loud, she's direct, but you could see that everybody listens. So I don't know, there is something about that lady. And then just, she's interviewing someone, and she looks quite scary. So, shit, And she's interviewing a very small, I think, I don't know, Latina girl, probably coming from Latin America, but very petite. And she was like, well, you want to do cleaning and stuff. And the lady explained that she's a bit small, so, she need to do something where she doesn't have to. She took off her glasses and she, you know what, love? Diamonds are small. I was like, okay, it's kindness. But she was saying stuff that were pretty cool to people. And then he comes to me and she was like, what's your name? My love. Bizarre. So my name is Aurelien. Yeah. What's your name? I said, Aurelien. I said, but you've got to do it slowly here. I don't speak French. Yeah. All right. What's your name? I said, okay. Aurelien. All right. Aurelien. You're right. Guys, it's right.
Are you serious?
That's the way.
Oh, that is such a great story.
I became right that day. And the first job she gave me was a cleaning job. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would go on my bike. So everybody's got bike in Cambridge, but in Amsterdam, right? And I started by cleaning offices.
Doing wheelies on the way to work?
No. It's cold.
Yeah.
I was with my Polish friends. I could not speak to each other. I don't know where I was going. He said, yeah, let's meet at that point. It took me for like a 45 minutes bike ride in the countryside to go to that office that we've got to clean. So we go and do that. And the office was done. Actually, cleaning offices, not too much of an issue. You collect the mugs, they're fake. Toilets are a little bit less charming, but people are proper. But then he's like, okay, do you want to carry on with us? He was £10 an hour at the time, like $12 an hour, let's say. Okay, by it. So do you want to carry on with us? We need to go and do the clubs now, the nightclubs. God, nightclubs, daytime. A nightclub at 9 o'clock in the morning. You don't want, one thing you don't want to clean is the ladies' toilets. Oh, men, it's just smelly. You don't touch anything. But ladies, there is things everywhere. There is, and it was just not pleasant. So I did that for 3 weeks. And then I was carrying on giving application to try to work in a bar or something like that. Yeah. So I don't want to be cleaning stuff for too long. And I was not really progressing in English because all my coworkers were like me. People that, and most of them were Polish back in the day, my team. Yeah. So I could have learned Polish, but they had no interest in speaking English. Yeah. Okay. And I found that Scottish guy called Neil, who also passed away actually. So I got that job, £10 an hour as a receptionist. Okay. In a place called Chez Gerard's, the name of a French restaurant. But I started at the reception, could not speak English, so I had to learn quick, right? And I became a waiter. They had a cocktail bar. I became a cocktail maker, and I became the manager of the cocktail bar. And that was fun. So I did that for a year and a half.
That's the English is starting to come.
Like proper.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the best year I had. Like literally, you are behind the bar, you make cocktails. You start long drinks to make, so you speak to people. You have a bit of fun, and we were drinking with people. It was party 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And on my day off, I would go to my friends who have a bar and just spend some time there anyway. It was terrible for your liver, but I made so many friends, so many memories. We did so many stupid things, but it was really fun to work in that environment, like, with a group of people. Yeah. And it's the fun police, right? It's the people who just go out, these things, the fun guys, right? Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. But got to a point where I need to do something with myself.
Did you think about going back to Philips and back to Paris, or?
Oh, forgot about that. They moved the mobile infotainment division to China. So I got a call, and my VP marketing moved to a place called Deluxe Valentine, which is a paint company. And I thought to myself, look, there's no point in me doing marketing in paint. I'm an engineer with a business degree. I need to exploit that sort of technical and business acumen, and I can marry that together. But I had no idea what I would do with myself. So as I was thinking about, it to get on with life, man. You can't be in a bar. You can't be in the bar doing silly things every night, right? And just having fun. You've got to do something with your life. And money was good, right? So I decided to read autobiographies to try to figure out what I want to do. Do I come back to France? I've got a French girlfriend at the time that moved with me. She's got a job in the UK, so she's happy. So we don't know what we want to do with ourselves. So I'm reading those books, and I'm reading autobiography of Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, or those guys. And one trait that they all have in common is really, and putting the emphasis on the fact that starting from the bottom really made them. Like, Warren Buffett doing door-to-door selling, Richard Branson selling encyclopedia and things like that, or doing telemarketing, recruitment, that's the shit. Saying if you do that and you are good at that, you can do anything in your life, pretty much. So the people who are really good at doing the tough stuff, tough sales, could do pretty much everything in life. So I was thinking to myself, look, I'm in the UK, I'm gonna probably overqualified. I'm working in a bar. I'm going to get a telemarketing job. I'm going to do that for 6 months, almost like a military service type of things, just to get me back to business. And I go back to Paris and I find something in sales or in marketing. And I joined that company called Optima Consulting Partners. It was based in Guildford, so a little bit south of London. And I was the first non-English person in the company. They just won a contract with HP. HP used them in the UK. They say, we would like to do France. They had no French. And I probably was the only guy that they interviewed. They told me, you're overqualified. Are you sure you want to do it? And I remember having a conversation, so you're going to do it for 2 months and you're going to go, you're not the type of people we get in that business. Too much education, too much this, too much that. As I will see. And I really liked it. I thought it was quite interesting. You learn about products, you learn about people, and then you learn about the company. Back then, we used to call it account canvassing. When you go from one person to the other person, until you find someone. I was really believing in my product. I was really passionate about what I was doing. And it was HP. So it was pretty cool, it's legit technology. Wow. I was actually doing HP networking, which was Stricom. There is a bit of a side story with Stricom messing up with the market and then coming back to market, and Cisco coming at the same time, Juniper coming at the same time. So it was a little bit tough, but interesting. And I built up some relationship with the team in France, the HP team in France. And those guys just, there's a little mafia of tech people in Paris. Then I went to Paris a couple of times with, I remember the name of Bernard Echebarn, with who was the country manager for HP in France. And I was introduced by some of the guys, some of the sales guys, like, we love that kids. I'm going to introduce you to my friend at McAfee. I'm going to introduce you to my friend at Symantec. I'm going to introduce you to my friend at Webroot. And I came back in the UK with 3-4 contracts. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I went to my CEO and said, those guys want our services. Then they want 10 meetings a month. They want 20 meetings a month. They want to go to the account. They want us to do what I do for Bernard and his team for them.
Yeah.
So we did the contract. I had to recruit a team. And basically in 6 months, that international team was 12 people.
Wow.
And I think it became 18 at some points. Because we started in France, but in France, you've got people who are responsible for Southern Europe. So we had Italy, what we call Iberia, which is Spain and Portugal. So I had Spanish, Italian in my team. I had Arabic people in my team. So we were all doing all those languages that were like VP, South EMEA would do. And we were working with all those cool tech. And back then, it was interesting because they were all trying to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
So you would pitch McAfee, but we were working on a product called Foundstone, which was a DLP product that allows prevention.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody knew McAfee for the endpoint security.
Right.
So you had to reframe things and selling. So we were just selling disruptive products. So that was pretty cool. And I carried on selling because, I was kind of the equivalent of a TM, I guess. Okay. What we would call a TM today. But he was freestyle, that company Optima, It was freestyle. I remember the CEO would just go play golf on Friday. And, if you'd done your target on Friday at lunchtime, you would spend the afternoon in the pub.
Yep.
Literally, nobody go back to work. Right? So it was really interesting in the way we were working. But I remember losing contracts. I was like, shit, I've got 30 days. And, this is someone I recruited. I was doing the recruitment. I was doing the contracts. So then I would take a Eurotunnel, go to Paris, meet people, try to find business so that person that I recruited can get a job.
Right.
So I became very resourceful to make sure I didn't have to sack anyone from my team. And that grew that way. And then our sales director left. And I think they just say, well, do you want to do it? So I was doing that. So I became the sales director and kind of operation. And then I sat down with the CEO. He said, okay, I want you to get some options. I want you to become my number 2 seriously. And I want us to sell the business. So he gave me like a 18 months target. And he said, I want you to bring, so he gave me a list of the biggest company, EMC, IBM, at the time, NetApp, VMware.
How long were you there? Like,
I was probably there for 18 months at this stage.
Okay.
I think I've done 3 years there in total.
okay.
So as the second phase, I say, go and get me those guys. If we get contracts with all those people, we can probably sell our business. So I did that. Take out of the list of 20, we signed 17 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Resourceful. Make it happen. Found a way, but in this big company, I didn't work with Novell. I worked with a part of Novell that was called SUS in one region.
Right.
But then you prove it and then you do the other region, and et cetera, et cetera. So it was proper grind. But I was calling people and say, give me your problem child region. I'm going to start it with my team. And that's how we got in. Our biggest one was EMC. We did a lot with EMC. We did all Europe with EMC, but we were not working with the EMC, the big, we were working with content management and archiving, which was like the Documentum and things like that.
Yep.
So again, I was trying to find those pockets in those big companies that would need something that is not supported by the big machine. And then we sold the business. We sold the business to a company called Rainmaker. So you spoke about Sunset Direct.
Yep.
Chandless. They acquired Sunset Direct. They went on to a bit of an acquisitions, battle, and they were buying a lot of businesses. And we were their route to Europe. So they acquired Optima in 2010. Graham was supposed to be the general manager, but he had no intention of staying. So I think within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he left, but it took probably 6 months for him to really remove himself from the business.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there had no choice. There's that kid there. I was 25.
Wow.
And I said, do you want to be general manager? We're going to give you a go. You want to be general manager for Europe? We see how we get on, and we're going to try to find someone else. Well, it's not forever, but you want to do it for now because, everybody seems to like you. You know how it works. You seem to be the number 2 of the other guy. But, he's just a 25-year-old guy, it's not going to be forever. And so they gave me the job as general manager. Did that for 2 years. I don't know if you know the story of Rainmaker, but he became a little bit of a shit show. They just, I don't think they were investing in the right places. They lost some huge contracts with Dell. They got the wrong people, in the business. There are lots of very smart people, but people that don't understand what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember they brought some very smart, a guy that I really learned a lot from, Tom Venable, who was at Digital River. You remember Digital River?
Yeah.
I learned a lot through his leadership, sales leadership. They brought some people from Cisco, some people from Apple, like some COOs and things like that. So people were trying to reorganize the business all the time.
Right.
Just you need to get on with it when you are in our business.
Yeah.
You need to fucking get on with it. Stop looking at our chart. You've got to speak to clients, speak to prospect, get the business done.
Yeah.
Right? So lots of people were trying to overcomplicate what we were doing. And the business was bleeding cash in the US. I don't know how much detail you want me to give on that, but I kind of lost. I was really keen to stay. I really wanted to do it. I saw it as an opportunity. I was general manager. In my eyes, when you get that opportunity, you want to have that for at least 2 years in your resume. Sure. You don't want it to be a 6-month thing.
No.
Because people will know that you are shit. That's why. No matter the story, 6 months is not good. So now I need to do it for a period of time. So I really pushed myself. Despite the fact that there was lots of things that I didn't like in the business, I had no voice. So, but again, I think those sort of experiences are great. And no disrespect to the people at Rainmaker, because I really truly believe that the leadership was trying to do their best to survive and to make it happen. But witnessing people making mistakes is as good as it's a great learning. Sure. Like literally, you see the things happening, you see you're in the conversation, you see them taking the wrong direction, you learn a ton. You learn what not to do.
Right.
It's like this video that you see online when there is a kid and someone take like a little puppet and they just give the yogurt to the puppet and the puppet doesn't eat it. So they just slap the pump and then give it to the kid and the kid take it. You just see that the pump had got a slap. So you don't want one. So the reaction is you look at what people are doing wrong is actually a great way of learning.
Right.
So we did that. But the big thing for me, I went to Bali on holiday for a month because I wanted some time off. I was doing lots of stuff, and I came back. They sacked my sales team while I was away, and I came back. We had a small office in Paris, literally 10 people. That was profitable. I was making maybe $20,000 a month of profit. Clients were happy. We had the clients for 2 years. Where the staff was happy, everybody was running. They asked me to cut that. So why are we making money? Why that's the actual point. So they forced me to go to Paris to sit with the clients, sit with the team and say, I'm so sorry, but the US guy, they want us to stop what we're doing here. So what I suggest is that that's the guy who was managing the team. He's going to open a business. And if everybody is happy, you just transfer the contract and you carry on. And they carried on. They created a little company. So that was the best way to deal with it because you only to start.
Sure.
It's bullshit. You've got to do something that's completely wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And there is no why. The why doesn't make sense. Or we don't want an office in France. Okay. Why? Why? We just don't want it. Okay, cool. Go and do it. So basically, it was interesting because they kind of forced me to do stuff I didn't want to do. And I think you also learn, eating shit is actually a good school because you learn about doing things and being creative about what you're going to do about it. But yeah, towards the end, I was just not keen anymore. And they actually ended up sacking me because we had an earn-out that was based on revenue and profitability. But what happened with Rob was still with the CEO of Operatix and now our VP of International combined company. We signed, or we didn't sign. I mean, the deal was actually coming from the US, but we massively helped to get Microsoft in. So we signed Microsoft 6 months after closing the deal, and that was for 60 people. Wow. The company was 35 employees. So we're tripling in size. And they went to 120 people, just the Microsoft project.
Wow.
In 6 months. So we basically became 200 people roughly in the space of 14 months. So that pushed the earn-out to a point where I actually called them and said, do you want to review the stuff? Because you're paying me a lot of money. You are not expecting that. That was a multi-million-dollar deal. And then Microsoft they would pay us, but we didn't have the people. They would say, okay, we have a PO for 60 people. So yeah, but we can't recruit 60 people in 1 month. So that's fine. We're going to pay you anyway. Everything was dripping through in profit. And in a way, it was fantastic for the business. But the math were very, 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 very favorable to me. I mean, it's great. I bought my first place with that. I was really making a lot of money to the point where I called the CEO and said, you want to change the deal? And his response was, I'm going to get HR to call you back. And HR called me back and say, okay, we need to get rid of you. Which was interesting. Because they get rid of me and they send me a letter about all the great things I've done in the business. So there's a side story on that, but I don't really want to get into that. But
So did you leave?
Yeah.
Then what did you decide you were going to do next?
So I leave, and but I'm pissed off. I want to fuck them. And I'm like, all those things that they've done, they asked me another stuff. 3 months before they got rid of me, they say, can you go to all the clients that are not spending at least $10,000 or $20,000 a month with us and tell them that we don't want their business anymore, give them notice. That's a business that we're losing cash.
Yeah.
So I had to go to clients that were spending $50,000 a month with us. I mean, this is still a nice client.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't want your business anymore. Why? I don't know. So we started to transfer resources to the clients. We started to do things so people can carry on. Because you've got clients saying, look, you are my pipeline generator. Don't tell me that I need that stuff.
Yeah.
This is part of my plan.
Right.
It's not that idiot saying we're going to stop it.
Yeah.
I've got targets.
Yeah.
And that's important for me, right? So,
Yeah.
So we transfer resources, just a bit of a mess. But again, interesting. And I was just a little bit pissed off. And I saw the opportunity and back then in Europe, nobody was really doing it for disruptive companies. You would have organizations that are either marketing or very shit telemarketing. You know, they would be like paid per performance only, some sort of like, you know, BAO type of stuff in Europe. We had a company called Greenleaf, I think, or something like that. And they were okay, they had some good clients, but it was paid per appointment. And we decided that we need a premium service for what we do, with proper people, with proper training, with proper everything. But also I just saw all the things that Rainmaker wasn't doing right and all the business that they were leaving on the table. So decided to start Operatix. Just to go, and it was tough, man.
So I started on my own.
Yeah, and it was tough because all these people, not gonna mention any name, still friends, some of them, who told me, hey, when you start on your own, give me a buzz, hit me up. I'll work with you. When I called them, said, get 2 straight clients.
Yes.
Man, that was harsh. That was harsh because I was banking on that. In my business plan, I had a list of people I was going to hit up, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. We're going to go for a coffee. We're going to get some business. It's going to be easy.
Give me my first customer.
Yeah, it took me 18 months, 2 years to start paying a salary.
Yeah.
So
for you.
Yeah. So we were in November. So I put that business plan together.
So you're well into your career by this point, right?
Yeah. And I'm still in touch with Graham.
Yeah.
Was my CEO at Optima.
Graham was CEO at the first company.
Yes. So I call him.
Like, I'm going to learn sales for 6 months.
Yeah, I call him and he said, yeah, let's meet up. Let's go for a beer or coffee. I can't remember what we've done. And he said, look, I want to go 50-50. Let's go. He said, look, I think you're great, but look, I can help you. And I want to do it for 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4 years max. And then I'm going to exit because I don't want to do that forever. I'm going to help you to start. So we started together, and it really took us much longer than we thought to get going. And that was tough. That was tough because, I had offer to do like sales role, but people would pay me 6 figures.
Yeah.
I was paid 0. My wife was paying the bill. She moved in my flat.
Yeah.
She was putting food on the table, but we saw that we will carry on. And it's a stupid stuff where you don't want to give up.
Right.
Then you're like, fuck, I'm in it now. So you go. And then those moments where you just start to reflect and say, am I an idiot?
Yeah.
I never told my parents that if I told my parents that I was working without making money, they'd be like, absolute, what are you doing? But perseverance, man, blood, sweat, and tears. We started to have a business. We started to work with some great people. Rob joined maybe 4-6 months after we started the business. Yeah. So we started to reassemble the team. We had a good core little team of people. We started to do a great job on our first project. What out?
Did you know Rob before?
Yeah, Rob was... so we recruited Rob when we were at Operatix, I believe. Then he came through the acquisition and he was working at Rainmaker.
Okay.
He was a BDR. If memory serves me well, he became a DM just working on CA technologies, which was one of my marquee accounts that I had to bring in. CA.
My first job. Yeah.
The dinosaur. What's happened to CA? Well, they're gone now. Should we give them a call? They probably by region.
Broadcom. Place where software went to die.
CA technology, yeah. So he was managing a small team there. And then when Microsoft came, he was the manager of Microsoft. So he had to do the 60 people, he had to do that. So he was the ops guy that was just managing that.
So your early days, didn't take any salary for 2 years?
Yeah, 18 months.
18 months.
I think we started
18
to pay
months. We'll round it up a little bit, 18 months. And where were you trying to go with it? Like, what were you just trying to grow? We just said, we just got to get through this week, this month. I mean,
No, I don't think we had that much direction.
Yeah.
I think we were, and then Greg was a bit more relaxed. He sold the business.
He'd done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made money.
Yeah.
Right. He had a safety net.
Yeah.
So you see, it was interesting because he was much more patient than I was. I remember having conversations saying, this thing is going to pick up because, But then again, you just get obsessed by it. I've got to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that we will make it work to maybe a $1 million business.
Yeah.
10 people.
Yeah.
Small agency.
Yeah.
Very friendly. Little bell and whistle on everything we do. I know all my customers personally.
Yeah.
I know all my staff personally. We're going to all do Christmas dinner at my house together.
Yeah.
I saw that this is why we're going to be a small one. But then you get to a small one and you say, shit, we could do more. We could do more. And I remember each $2.5 million of revenue dollars being that sort of staircase where you got to reinvent the company, change slightly the culture and everything. So the first 2.5, everybody knows each other. It's kind of brother and stuff. Then you start to have a bigger company. You start to bring more people more frequently. So you need to have more processes. Becomes a bit more complicated. You get bigger contracts. You've got more risk. You've got more bills. You've got more exposure. But then it become like it's just like a drug in a way. Just like I want more. You just keep going. And to be fair, first 18 months were tough, but they were fun. It's actually quite good to not really know where you are going and trying stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's much more fun than just following a process,
Right.
in my eyes. So I really like that part. I did like the process. I don't know if I really enjoyed the outcome, and I think the doubt is not great. My wife was very supportive. Like she was like, "No, just carry on. I think you've got it. It's cool. All right, just do that." Seems to be enjoying it, So I carried on.
Which is great because you were making any money initially, right?
Yeah.
And there are lots of ups and downs of running your own.
Yeah,
business.
it's a big bet for her.
She's a soldier.
Yeah, it's a big bet.
She's badass.
Yeah. But we did that, and growing the business was fantastic. Like, look, we had so many great clients with so many memories. It's just crazy when you look at where we've been with it. Even with Rob, like before we spoke to you guys, I think 2 years before that, we're like, okay, let's get a $5 million business. And we get to 5. We go for a beer, 2 beers, 3 beers. We start to speak about 10. Imagine if we get to 10, what would it take? And you start visualizing. And let's go to 10. Then you need to speak to everybody. Say, guys, why you've got a new mission? Let's get off the rocket. Let's get on a bigger rocket and we're going to fly back together. It's just that sort of things. And then we build up a team, and very supportive team of people, great retention. Like we've got 10 years, 8 years, 7 years, or MDs. And those guys have started from BDR, like you guys, like really growing through the things and growing the business with us. Like the equivalent of our managing directors. I don't think there is one that's got a tenure of less than 7, 8 years. That's amazing. But the guy, George, George Walsh actually negotiated his salary with his dad at the pub.
Yeah.
I think he was 18 or 20.
Yeah.
The dad wanted me to give him 16K pounds,
Yeah.
16,000 pounds, $18K dollars.
Yeah.
I said, he's going to start on 14. He's got no experience.
Yeah.
Started on 14. He's now one of our most successful managing director.
Yep.
He's never worked anywhere else. He's a great guy, love George. And that's good, man.
Absolutely.
You create those stories, you create those things, and then you do it for other people, right? So you do it for the other, because it's not just about you and growing the business. Those people are pushing you. So what am I going to do next year? What am I going to learn next year? Are you going to challenge me? Let's do goal setting. The team is like pushing you to actually go further. That's great. So I think the beginning was really us in a very capitalistic way. I think we just wanted to make money. I don't think we wanted to save the world. I don't think we wanted to make the world a better place. We just wanted to make money, if I'm completely honest with you.
Sure.
But then it changed to, fuck, we've got a team of people and we're all developing, we're all doing things. This is cool.
Yep.
This is fun. It becomes a sort of game that you just want to go, and every year you go back and you start again, and it's fun.
What do you want to do now? Where do you want it to go now?
Well, I think, look, last year was excellent. So just maybe to speak a little bit about that, we I've always admired what you built. Yeah, I think I told you that many times. I'm your secret lover. How do you feel about that? So that's the secret French love.
You gotta sell me flowers in front of the bakery first.
Yeah. Find me a bakery, find me some flowers. I'm gonna make some like tips. But no, I think look, we always admire what you are doing because first of all, you've been resilient in the market. Right? We've seen company coming and going. 20 years doing what you do, that's solid. We've seen the way you are growing people in the operational model, which is really putting the employees, even if sometimes they don't feel it, but putting the employees and the clients in the center of it. I mean, the first time people told me, those guys, you do 15 months, 18 months, then you can get the resource for free. They're mad. I didn't get it. Now I get it. What you've done is basically a marathon for marketing campaign.
Indeed.
Very smart. You've been building legacy by putting your people into the businesses and stuff like that. And those people come back now and they are fans because you went there to start their career. But for me, because I was in my making money mode, now you want that guy, you give me 20 pounds. There's no way. Our opportunity, we trained it, we've done everything for him. We didn't think about it from their perspective. We don't think about it from the client's perspective. And I think your vision on that is really good. And again, I don't think all our clients see that. I don't think all our staff see that. Yeah. And it's a shame because I think this is, I'm speaking to you guys, getting close to you. I know truly you believe in that. And that's what I really liked about Memory Blue. Before we even spoke, before we did the deal, is that mentality, that culture. From the outset, I'm like, this is cool. Those guys are not just doing lead gen or pipeline gen or appointment setting, whatever you want to call it. They're actually developing people. They have a why. And that was inspiring for me because my why was just, okay, let's go bigger. Let's do goal setting and, we're going to make more money and buy some nice shit. Materialistic little trick, basically. I've done it. I think working on the why, as we started to grow and start to speak about culture in the business, we are trying to really find our why. That's really when I started to look at your model and saying, God, those guys are good. And then we are competing on deals. And, we've seen you winning deals when you are more expensive than us. We've seen you losing deal again. But the other thing is that we have lots of clients. So I'm using Memory Blue in the US and I'm going to use Operatix in Europe because you guys are the best. I don't think we've been able to displace you when you are working with the clients. And I think we tried. I'm sure we tried. and people were like, no, those guys are great. We've displaced BAO, we've displaced all the other guys. Easy, because we come with a business model, we come with a promo, we come with something. We just want it to be a pain in the ass. Your clients, we really struggle. And that's also something that I really appreciate. Clients really like you. Mm-hmm. Even clients who would stop working with you would say, those guys are great. Very honest in the way they work. We try, but we don't think we've got the right model. So it's you are less cowboy than the other companies. And then it's funny because I actually contacted one of you on LinkedIn. Literally, I had no idea about the B coming in and FSD, using Memory Blue as a platform. But what happened during 1 week, I've got my sales team calling me and say, we've got 2 deals coming from Memory Blue. Well, a prospect call us and say, yeah, my Memory Blue, right. He's telling me if I want to do Europe, I should call Operatix. Okay? So I'm thinking, let's have a partnership with those guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, it's going to be tough because there is that US piece. We've got Dallas, there are other stuff. So we're competing for that stuff. So I'm thinking in my head, how do we do it? And I think that was our first conversation. Mm-hmm. And literally I send you the message. And 1 day later, there is that things being published. And then we have the first call where we speak about how can we partner, right? And I'm like, I really want to partner with you. I think it's good, but the problem we've got is what happens if I partner with a company in the UK and they want to use us in the US, right? It's kind of coming from your intro. And we started to have that conversation. And then, one thing led to another. We did the deal last year. And I think that was, for me, is, obviously, I think it's great.
Memory Blue alumni, is your company actively trying to fill open sales roles with high-achieving ballers? The Memory Blue Rising Stars program is a unique outplacement service designed to benefit our alumni and our tenured sales development professionals at the same time. Most of the SDRs that work on our client campaigns are under contract for a specific amount of time. Once the SDR's contract expires, he or she may wish to explore various new career opportunities. We call these well-trained hustlers our rising stars, and this is where you come in. Every single member of our alumni network has full access to hire our rising stars into their current company at zero cost. Whenever we have a new rising star available, we'll drop our full alumni group an email letting you know about the opportunity. This benefit gives alumni and their current employers a huge edge in closing the sales development talent gap. It also gives you the inside track on cashing in any referral fees associated with referring new hires. If you're looking for tomorrow's sales stars today, head over to memoryblue.com/alumni.
What we're doing now, that journey of building a business, 12 years in the making, taking it to $25 million, like you guys. I mean, if you look at our story, this is another thing that I like. You've done it for 20 years, you are double the size, exactly. Mm-hmm. But you've done it without taking investments. You've done it with your own cash, 20 years. There's not a lot of people who do it. Mm-hmm. I was speaking with Frank this morning in the cab about some of our competitors just raising money just now. Right? People want to turbocharge and stuff. You know, I was speaking to other company in the process before I spoke to you, same, raising money, right, left, and center. Doing it from your own cash. That's when you are resilient. That's when you went through COVID. That's when we're going to go through 2023 and down in the market. Mm-hmm. Because we are doing the right thing. We spend money we've got, not money from other people that we burn. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the different, again, for me, that's a mentality that is much more mine. So yeah, it became clear that if I had to do, I had a list of 3 companies, to be honest with you, you want a number one. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're the new kid in your school and there is that girl that you think you'll never be able to marry. And she actually turns you and says, I want you. I'm like, what? My luck.
No, you have a great team.
I don't need to be a secret lover anymore.
Yeah. We're going to do podcasts with Rob and Dan and hopefully Kat, some of the MDs.
Yeah. We've got some.
We're in Europe.
We've got some great story, man. But
it works both ways, two-way street, man.
And to answer our question about the future, I'm excited about the future because we've got a core business, which is that lead gen business. Yeah. I think we are really good at. In fact, we're going to learn so much on your delivery side. I think you're probably smarter than us on some of the stuff you are doing. So, and it's really cool how we are almost, there is not a place where we are really fighting these things. Right, it's like, I think we know what we're stronger than. So all these functions that we're bringing together, it's nice because together we'll be stronger. And there is a huge market, whatever you call it, whatever marketing, people will still need to pick up the phone and get some pipeline.
That's right.
Pipeline is, you can't raise the valuation of your startup or your scale-up or your enterprise company if you don't have pipeline. So we are critical for this organization.
Yes.
So we're going to grow what we're doing. And I think we need to bundle up other services. We spoke about smarts. I don't know if you want me to touch on that. And then there is things with AI, data, all the data we've got, all the intel we've got. What can we do with that? How can we make it available to our clients, available to our staff so we can make better decisions?
We're going to have another session where we're going to talk about that.
Cool.
It's recorded. But it was good getting to know you, right?
Yeah, this is great.
We'll do 1, 2. You can turn the tables on us.
Yeah.
Our stories are not nearly as interesting as yours.
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
Thanks for sharing all that.
Not at all.
It's insightful.
I went deep. We went to the Expel and we went to, we've been traveling, haven't we?
Well, yeah, everyone's shaped by their experiences. And I think it'll tell the people who work here and our alums and people who want to work with us, like who you are as a person. And that's more important to a lot of people, like their core and their ethics.
All the challenges, all the sacrifices, all the delayed gratification, learning English. People see that. That's very impressive.
Yeah, there's something with traveling. Like we've got a couple of guys who've been taking sabbatical, George being one of them. George Roll that I mentioned. I remember him coming and saying, I really want to travel. What do you think? Go. Another one, we've got one doing it at the moment, Zach Savides. Yeah. We literally had just 3 Savides brother. And Zach is the younger one, I think. And again, he come to me, he's not too much. He's like, do you think I can go traveling for a month?
Your brothers work at the company?
Yeah.
So that's great. What a testament that is.
Oh, yeah, we had the Arif as well.
This is the one who the dad tried to negotiate?
No,
okay,
still different. Okay. George George, I think, left for a year. He took a sabbatical for a year, but he traveled the whole world, and we've got Zach at the moment doing it. We've got another guy doing it, I think, also. But when someone come to my office and say that, and, those guys are like DMs, MDs, it's painful because you really lose a talent and you need to do something, but you know that when they come back, they will be much richer in terms of experience, things. I think there is something quite cute about going to a country and not being able to communicate. You've got to change the way you are.
I wondered, you answered my question because I wondered, because you're very quick-witted in a good way, and that is one of your superpowers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't imagine learning, even though you had some familiarity with the language, but not like it's talking in business in a country where that's the native tongue. It's a whole other thing. I'm like, that's gotta like really be, it forces you to think through things too, in a way too. So you're very quick witted, but then like having to learn a whole new language and down into your personality, I think it adds another level to your ability to relate to people.
Yeah, I think emotional intelligence, you develop emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I think you read the room better.
Yep.
You look at body language, but you don't know what people are thinking and what they are saying. But then there is the tone of things. Few things like my breakthrough is when I understand the first English joke. And then I was able to joke in English myself, which was basically repeating the joke that probably a cook or someone tell me I was working. Right. But that was a breakthrough. And the other breakthrough is when I stopped thinking French.
Yeah.
I used to think French and speak English. Like, so you translate in your head and then it just come out in English straight away. Like literally, you don't think anymore. Like the wire is wire. Like the two things are connected.
Like literally, that's probably what happened.
Scream in English.
Yeah.
It's actually easier for me to have a conversation in English than it's in French. I probably need a week or two in France to obviously go back to finding all my vocabulary and things like that. Because but those things, I think you wire some stuff in your brain.
Yeah.
But reading the room is probably one of the biggest things, because when you can't speak, you've got no other choice that you sit back. I remember my colleague, even when we were working in a bar, they would have a beer at the end of the night. So it's 2:00 in the morning, from 2 to 4, we would have a few more beers together. Sure. And you are there, and the first 6 months, you don't understand what's going on. So you look at their body language, you look at what they're doing. When everybody laughs, you laugh.
Tone.
Yeah. Tone and everything. And this, I think it's good.
It's amazing. What a great skill. Amazing. What a great skill. All right, Ray, we're going to do another one of these. Thanks for sharing with us.
It's
great. Good show, Ray.
Thanks for listening to Tech Sales is for Hustlers. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review after the beep.